The 2-year look-back rule, where most people get burned. Let's make the timing crystal clear so the traps can't hide. The premiums you pay in 2026 come from your 2024 tax return. That's the 2-year look-back. Social Security doesn't guess. They pull your RS-reported MAGI, match it to the 2026 tier table, and set your Part B and Part D surcharges. Your current income doesn't matter yet. That delay is why people feel punished after retiring. Your lifestyle changed, but the data feeding Medicare didn't. Why does this burn so many people? Because the last working years often include one-time spikes that look harmless in the moment. A severance package in December, stock options exercised before you walk out, an RSU vesting schedule you forgot to pause, a bonus you didn't think to shift, or the cleanup Roth conversion you squeezed in at year-end. 2 years later, those choices show up as a year of higher premiums. It's not personal, it's the pipeline. Now here's the cliff effect in action. Say the first 2026 tier starts at $109,000 single or $218,000 joint, and your 2024 MAGI lands $1 over. You don't pay a $1 surcharge. You jump to the full next year add-on for the entire year. That means higher Part B every month and a separate Part D add-on every month. Over 12 months, a small overshoot turns into big, predictable costs. That math is brutal, but it's also controllable. And the lag stacks. Retire in 2024, proud of a lean 2025 budget, but your 2026 premiums still reflect your 2024 MAGI. If 2023 and 2024 were high-income years, you could be staring at IRMAA at 65 and 66 without earning a paycheck. People open the letter, see the higher deduction in their Social Security deposit, and think something's wrong. Nothing's wrong. It's the look back doing its job. Where do most folks mess up? Late year moves without a tier check. After a market rally, you convert the same dollar amount you planned back in August, except dividends ran hot and a fund declared a surprise capital gain distribution in November. Or you harmlessly rebalance in taxable in December and realize gains you didn't count. Or you ignore municipal bond interest because it's tax-free, not realizing it gets added back for IRMAA. All of that lives on the tax return Medicare will use 2 years later. Here's a quick win to anchor your decisions this year. Pull last year's return, find AGI, add tax-exempt interest. That's the IRMAA MAGI. Now grab the 2026 thresholds. First line at $109,000 single, $218,000 joint. If your MAGI would have crossed a line, that explains the tier you're in today. If you're not on Medicare yet, run that same math on your age 63 year. Your 63-year MAGI typically sets your 65-year premiums. If you remember nothing else, protect the age 63 return. So how do you avoid getting burned? You build a rhythm and respect the lag. In Q2, do a MAGI forecast that includes dividends, interest, pension income, known gains, and any planned conversions. Add a cushion for surprise distributions, 5–10% under the next tier. If your forecast is within a few thousand of the cliff, cap the conversion or move gains to January. In Q3, recheck with real numbers. If a fund announces a big payout, trim immediately. In Q4, no topping off without a fresh estimate. Let me show you exactly how timing flips outcomes. Suppose you plan a $15,000 conversion later in the year. Markets rise, your dividend run rate jumps, and your actively managed fund posts a 10% capital gain distribution in November. If your original headroom was $18,000 in August, it's now $9,000. Convert the full $15,000 in December and your $6,000 over the cliff. 12 months of surcharges you could have avoided by converting in June or trimming the amount in October. The game changer nobody talks about is sequencing one-time events. If you'll sell a rental, take severance, or exercise options, don't stack those in the same calendar year as a large conversion. Use on and off years. In an on year, take the big event and keep everything else minimal. In an off year, resume conversions or realize discretionary gains up to your buffer. That simple cadence keeps you from crossing 2 cliffs with one decision. Common mistakes to skip right now. Assuming your mutual funds won't distribute, ignoring muni bond interest on that separate line, rebalancing in taxable in December without a MAGI check, and converting to the top of a tax bracket without looking at IRMAA tiers which don't line up perfectly with tax brackets. Also, don't forget Part D. The same MAGI tiers apply, so a small overshoot can double hit you. If you're already retired, here's your urgency note. If you're 63 this year, your decisions now set your premiums at 65. Run a conservative forecast, leave a 10% buffer under the next tier, and avoid December surprises. If you're 61 or 62, use these years for planned conversions and portfolio cleanup while you still have room. That's how you enter Medicare clean, no cliffs, no letters, no whiplash. The better method: control MAGI, control IRMAA. Now that the lag and cliffs are clear, here's the better method. Treat IRMAA like a controllable bill by engineering your MAGI. The reason this works is simple: IRMAA is formula-driven. If you manage inputs, you manage outcomes. Do it right and you land just under the next cliff. Miss it and you pay for the entire year. First, block the definition you'll actually use. For IRMAA, MAGI is your AGI plus tax-exempt interest for municipal bonds. AGI includes wages, IRA withdrawals, Roth conversions, interest, dividends, capital gains, rental and business income, and the taxable portion of Social Security benefits. Then you add muni bond interest sitting on its own line. The thing most people miss is that tax-free muni interest is IRMAA-free. It still gets added back. Here's your toolkit to control MAGI without gutting your lifestyle. Roth accounts are the cleanest lever. Qualified Roth IRA withdrawals don't hit MAGI, which gives you flexibility to fund spending without pushing over a tier. The shortcut is to build Roth capacity before Medicare so you can choose tax-free income later. Next, qualified charitable distributions once you're 70.5. A QCD sends money directly from your IRA to a charity, can satisfy RMDs, and the excluded amount doesn't raise AGI or MAGI. If you already give, route it this way. Capital gains planning is your third lever. You choose when to realize gains. Use tax-efficient ETFs and index funds to minimize surprise distributions. Harvest losses when markets dip to offset gains. Bunch big sales into on years when you have headroom below a cliff. If you need steady income, consider treasuries and taxable instead of muni funds near a cliff. Treasury interest sits in AGI, but avoids the extra IRMAA add back from tax-exempt interest. Now shift from spikes to steady. Most people do a giant conversion or a late property sale and blow through a tier. A better path is smoothing moves across years to consistently land 5–10% under the next threshold. If you remember nothing else, remember this: smooth beats spiky. Even income makes for predictable premiums. Tie in Social Security timing. Delaying benefits early in retirement can widen your MAGI runway for planned Roth conversions because you're not stacking taxable benefits on top. I've seen couples pause benefits until 67, live off cash and taxable accounts, and fill a conversion target each year under the next cliff. At 65, no IRMA. At 73, smaller RMDs. Coordination is where the savings multiply. Let me give you a simple operating system. Step 1, set a safe cap. Take the next IRMAA tier for your filing status and set your personal ceiling 5–10% below it. That buffer is your insurance against surprise dividends or fund distributions. If the first 2026 tier starts at $109,000 single or $218,000 joint, a conservative cap might be $98,000 single or $196,000 joint if you want room for unknowns. Step 2, forecast early, adjust mid-year. In Q2, estimate dividends, interest, pensions, rental net, and any known gains. Add a provisional Roth conversion amount that keeps you under your cap. In Q3, update with real YTD numbers and cut if you're close. In Q4, no topping off without a fresh estimate. Step 3, choose your spending source to match the plan. If you're near a cliff, fund extra spending from Roth or bank cash so you don't create new taxable income. If you must raise cash in taxable, sell lots with minimal embedded gains. Inside IRAs, rebalance freely, no current tax impact. In taxable, rebalance with cash flows and dividends rather than selling winners in December. Here's a concrete example. Your forecasted AGI is $118,000 joint, and you've got $6,000 of muni interest. Your IRMAA MAGI is $124,000. If your safe cap is $196,000, you have $72,000 of room. But you expect a mutual fund distribution in November and a potential $8,000 gain to finish a portfolio cleanup. You decide to convert $55,000 in June, wait for estimates in October, and then either top off $5,000,7,000 or stop. A November announcement of a $4,000 distribution, you skip the top off and stay under your cap. Now here's where most people mess up. They size conversions to the top of a tax bracket without checking IRMAA tiers. Tax brackets and IRMAA cliffs don't align, so you can be tax efficient and still trigger a year of surcharges. They also ignore mutual fund capital gain distributions that hit in November and December, which count even if reinvested. And they let muni bond interest sit on autopilot while managing to a tight cap. If muni interest keeps pushing you over, swap some exposure to treasuries in taxable. 2 quick wins you can do this week. 1. Print the 2026 IRMAA tier table for your filing status and circle the next cliff. Write your cap 5-10% under it on a sticky note. 2. Email your fund companies in October for distribution estimates. If a fund projects a large payout, swap to a tax-efficient ETF before the record date or hold that fund in an IRA instead. Common mistakes to avoid now. Cramming conversions in December with stale forecasts, rebalancing in taxable without a MAGI check, stacking a big gain in a conversion in the same year, and forgetting Part D's add-on uses the same tiers. Also, if you're using a backdoor Roth and you have other pre-tax IRA dollars, remember the pro rata rule. Accidental taxable conversions can inflate MAGI. Roll pre-tax IRAs into an employer plan if available before doing a backdoor. If you remember nothing else from this method, remember this: set a cap, forecast early, adjust mid-year, and stop when you're close. That rhythm turns IRMAA from a surprise into a number you steer. Timing windows, the calendar that saves thousands. Your calendar is as important as your calculator because IRMAA is time-shifted by 2 years. Control when income lands on your tax return, and you control premiums later. So let's build a simple year-by-year playbook that keeps you under the next cliff without guesswork. Start with the prime window, retirement to age 63. These are your setup years. Your 62 and 63 returns won't hit Medicare yet, but they'll anchor your entry. The thing most people miss is waiting until Medicare to clean up taxes. By then, every dollar risks a 2-year later surcharge. Use the pre-Medicare window for steady, measured Roth conversions, portfolio cleanup from distribution-heavy mutual funds into tax-efficient ETFs, and building cash reserves so you aren't forced to create taxable income in Q4. Age 63 is the anchor. Your age 63 MAGI generally sets your age 65 premiums. Treat that return like it's written in ink. In January of your age 63 year, map every income source: pensions, annuity starts, dividends, interest, rental net, expected gains, and any lump sums. Size conversions last, not first. If a surprise arrives, an unexpected fund distribution, a special dividend, you still have 3 quarters to trim. If you remember nothing else here, protect the age 63 return with a bigger buffer, 10% under the next tier, not 5%. Once you're past 63, stagger, not surge. Spread conversions across multiple years and keep annual MAGI 5-10% below the next cliff. Use rolling on and off years. In an on year, realize planned gains or do a larger conversion up to your cap. In an off year, harvest losses, pause gains, and let cash do the work. That rhythm avoids stacking 2 cliffs in the same return. Now, let's build the quarterly cadence that actually saves money. Q1, set your safe MAGI target. Pull the 2026 tiers, first cliff at $109,000 single, $218,000 joint, and set your cap 5-10% under the next one. List your MAGI drivers: pensions, annuities, IRA withdrawals, conversions, dividends, interest including muni, rents, business payouts, and expected gains. Draft a provisional conversion amount that leaves buffer. Q2, reforecast with real YTD data. Annualize dividends and interest conservatively. Ask fund companies for mid-year distribution outlooks. If your runway shrank, pivot now, trim the conversion, stop realizing taxable gains, and swap distribution-heavy mutual funds in taxable to more tax-efficient ETFs. Shore up cash so you aren't forced into taxable sales later. Q3, lock the plan. Confirm any one-time events, property closings, option exercises, business payments, and either bring them into a year with room or push them to January. If you're within a few thousand of the cliff, cut conversions now. Turn off automatic reinvestment in taxable if fund estimates are climbing. You can still reinvest manually in January. Q4, execute, don't improvise. Before any move, run a fresh MAGI estimate. If you're close to your cap, freeze discretionary income, no topping off conversions, no extra gains. If you're 70 or older and charitable, schedule qualified charitable distributions early in Q4 so they settle and count toward RMDs without raising MAGI. Complete RMDs early, check the result, and stop. Don't trade dollars for a year of surcharges. Avoiding December disasters is a single rule: no late year income moves without a tier check. RMDs, bonuses, and fund distributions bunch in Q4. If a bonus or severance is possible, assume it lands late and leave headroom. If a mutual fund announces a big payout in October, pivot, reduce the conversion, or swap before the record date. If you need to sell an asset, consider waiting a few weeks to close in January, shifting the IRMAA impact to a year you can plan around. A fast example to make this real. You're 62 now, retiring at 63, Medicare at 65. This year and next, you convert modestly and exit distribution-heavy funds and taxable. At age 63, you trim conversions, avoid large gains, and skip muni bonds so the add-back doesn't chew your buffer. At 64, with the anchor year behind you, you resume conversions to your cap. Result, at 65, no IRMAA, and your RMDs later start from a smaller base. 2 calendar automations make this hum. 1. Create 4 repeating IRMAA MAGI check events: Q1 plan, Q2 adjust, Q3 lock, Q4 execute. 2. Add an October reminder, request fund distribution estimates. Many fund families publish them, use those to preempt surprises. Common mistakes to skip now. Stacking a property sale and a conversion in the same year, ignoring the age 63 anchor, letting mutual fund distributions surprise you in November, cramming conversions into December with stale math, and forgetting Part D piggybacks on the same tiers. Keep the buffer bigger in years with moving parts, especially 63 in your first RMD year. If you adopt this calendar, the math gets boring in the best way. Your premiums stay predictable, your Social Security deposit doesn't yo-yo, and IRMAA turns into a number you steer on purpose. The life-changing events appeal: how to get IRMAA reduced. Appeals are how you flip the look back in your favor. If your income fell because of a qualifying life-changing event, you don't have to wait 2 years for Medicare to catch up. You can ask Social Security to recalculate your IRMAA now using Form SSA 44. Done right, your premiums drop going forward, and sometimes they adjust back to the month the change began. Why this matters: every month at a higher tier is money you don't get back unless you act. The system isn't guessing, it's following data from 2 years ago. Appeals let you replace that old number with your current year estimate backed by proof. If you remember nothing else here, remember this: file fast, estimate conservatively, and keep your income choices consistent with your appeal. Let's get clear on what counts. Qualifying life-changing events include work stoppage, retirement, work reduction, marriage, divorce or annulment, death of a spouse, loss of income-producing property due to circumstances beyond your control, loss or reduction of pension income, and receipt of an employer settlement payment. If one of these events substantially reduced your MAGI, you likely qualify. Here's the step-by-step. Step 1. Get Form SSA 44 from SSA's site or call your local office to schedule an interview. Step 2. Check the box for your life-changing event and enter the exact date: last day of work, divorce decree date, spouse's date of death, the day the pension changed, or the date of the property loss. Step 3. Provide your best estimate of MAGI for the current year and the next year if requested. For IRMAA, MAGI is your AGI plus tax-exempt interest. Step 4. Attach proof and submit. What proof works? For retirement or work reduction, include an employer letter stating your last day and expected income going forward, recent pay stubs, and the final W-2 when available. For marriage, divorce, or death of a spouse, include the certificate or court order. For loss of income-producing property, include insurance claims, casualty reports, or documentation of the loss. For pension changes, include the benefit change letter. The more specific, the better. Now the tricky part: estimating MAGI. Don't lowball. List wages if any, IRA withdrawals, Roth conversions, those count, pensions, annuities, dividends, interest, capital gains, rental net, business income, and tax-exempt bond interest. If you're close to a cliff, round slightly higher on your estimate. If your final tax return comes in lower, SSA can align to the actuals later without issues. If you understate and then go higher, expect them to adjust. Here's the shortcut nobody talks about. Pair your appeal with smart income sourcing for the rest of the year. After you file SSA 44, keep your MAGI under the targeted tier. Fund spending from bank cash, taxable cost basis, or Roth withdrawals to avoid creating new taxable income. If you're 70 or older and you give to charity, use qualified charitable distributions directly from your IRA. Those dollars satisfy RMDs without raising AGI or MAGI. Don't undercut your appeal with a late-year Roth conversion or a big capital gain. Timing is simple. File as soon as the event occurs and you have documentation. If you retired in March and receive a September IRMAA notice based on your old income, don't wait. Submit SSA 44 with the employer letter and your current year estimate. Ask for the determination to apply starting the month your income dropped. If SSA temporarily used older IRS data, request a correction when the newer return posts. Common mistakes to avoid: forgetting to include tax-exempt interest in MAGI, estimating too low and then realizing gains later, submitting without proof, waiting months after the event, and appealing, then immediately doing a large conversion that contradicts your estimate. Keep your actions aligned with your stated income plan. Micro story: a retiree stopped work in June, then got hit with IRMAA based on a strong prior year. We filed SSA 40 for the same week, checked work stoppage, attached the employer letter, pay stubs, and a conservative MAGI estimate that excluded conversions. SSA approved the appeal, dropped Part B and Part D surcharges the next month, and adjusted back to July. Their Social Security deposit increased immediately. If your appeal is denied or only partially approved, request reconsideration. Often it's a documentation gap or an estimate that felt too optimistic.